This is Red. 2 years ago, he decided to invest in these two collection boxes for $300 and now they're worth $700. Red cannot believe his eyes and he's fully convinced that these boxes will soon reach $1,000, so he decides to hold. But then, all of a sudden, Pokemon decided to reprint this collection box like crazy and the prices dropped to $250. Now, this is Blue. Blue bought the exact same collection boxes as Red, except that he set a selling goal for himself for when he would like to sell these boxes. And as soon as the collection boxes were worth $600, he sold them and got $300 profit, which you could use to buy a brand new Phantasmal Flames booster box basically for free. Now, the difference between these two is not luck, it's strategy, and that's exactly what we're covering in this video. So in this video, you'll learn the exact 3 steps you need to know to be like Blue and to know exactly when you should sell your Pokemon cards. Now, if you're new to the channel, my name is Noah. On this channel, we make Pokemon investing and collecting content. If you like this kind of content, feel free to subscribe. Now, the first step is to set a stop loss. Now, what is a stop loss? Well, that basically comes from a term from crypto and stocks. Imagine you invest in something for $250. Now, to protect yourself from losses that are too big, you can decide to set a stop loss at, for example, $220, which for crypto and stocks would mean that if the price would reach $220, that it would sell automatically. Now, with Pokemon cards, that's of course a little bit more difficult because you cannot immediately sell a product at a certain price. But you could keep in mind, for example, you buy an ETB for $200 and as soon as this ETB would reach $180, I'm going to list it on eBay, for example, to sell it. Now, the only reason why you have to set a stop loss for yourself is to prevent very big losses. Because of course it can happen that a product doesn't perform the way you want it to. Personally, I would say if the product that you buy is at 70 or 60% of the value which you bought it for, you should probably set a stop loss for that. Wait, but before we continue, I created a document you can download completely for free in the description. It contains all the steps of this video on how to sell your Pokemon cards. So make sure to go to the second link in the description and download the document now. Now, the next question is, for how long do you really want to hold this product? Now, this is important because first up, you kind of want to know when you want to sell your product, and second up, Pokemon cards are a physical product, so they can be literally in your way. Now, you can do this by making an estimate on how this box is probably going to perform in the next 6 to 12 months. For example, I bought a case of this Victini illustration collection boxes, which are currently going for around $33, or actually this card market, so 33 euros. Now, I think that this box is going to hit 50 euros per box within the next 6 months, so I'm also planning to sell this case in the next 6 months. But now we're moving on to step 3, which is the most important step, which is, what is your goal? Because Red, from the beginning example from this video, didn't have a goal for himself and because of that lost money. While Blue, who had the goal to sell these boxes for $600, made an incredible profit and because of that could buy basically a Phantasmal Flames booster box for free. Now ask yourself the question, what would be a logic investment goal for my Pokemon cards? Now based on the current market and my experience, you want to be looking for a 2 times ROI in the next 12 months. Which basically means that you make 2 times your money back in the next 12 months. For example, we're gonna take a look at the Celebrations Elite Trainer box. Imagine you bought the ETB in May 2025 for $151.75. If you're gonna aim for a 2 times return of investment, this ETB has to be worth $300. And if you take a look at the current value of $230, that's actually a pretty realistic goal. This would mean that this box has to increase with like $70 in the next 5 or 6 months. So if you bought a card or an Elite Trainer box or a booster box for let's say $100 and your box is now worth $200, then it's a pretty good timing to sell. If the value of your product hasn't doubled yet or you're just not completely sure whether you should sell it or not, then make sure to ask yourself the question, for how long do I want to keep this product and what's kind of like the goal for myself and how much I want this box to be worth. Now, if you need some help with this from experienced collectors and investors, you should definitely check the PK Academy with the link in the description. The PK Academy is my school community where I teach people how to make money with Pokemon cards. Inside there are more than $800 worth of courses, an engaging community of professional investors. We do weekly group calls and monthly giveaways, and you also get early access to new videos. And I'm not sure if I should tell you yet, but in a couple of weeks we're holding a very special challenge where you can make a lot of profit with Pokemon cards from. For now the community is only $9 a month, but if you use the knowledge only from the courses already, you can make that money back within a couple of days. If all of this stuff sounds interesting to you, make sure to check the PK Academy with the link in the description and then I'll see you in the community.